Were you in the original Simplelife?
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, Red Hoban.
Drop the mic. So what were the reasons why you both left the band?
We didn't leave the band because we wanted to leave the band. It was we wanted the band to go further.
Right.
And what happened is we were both in a different spot. I mean, from where Mike and I were, we had, Kim and I were getting ready to have kids. Basically, Mike was living with somebody that had kids. So to go out every weekend, Friday, Saturday, and then once and twice a week, well, those guys didn't have a family, Mike and Ben. It was, hey, we want to go out, we need to play more shows, we want to play more shows. Yeah. We are starting to get what are you guys going to play all the time?
Right.
Because we're practicing. So you're talking, we were occupying maybe 4 to 5 nights a week with the band, which when you don't have a family is great. When you do, and you're married and you're starting to have kids, and you have
real
kids.
Job and,
we had real jobs.
Yeah.
They didn't have a real job. I mean, we were working 40 hours a week and then doing this stuff. So it had gotten to a point where New Addiction was coming out, and we were still practicing. We were still a band. I mean, all the New Addiction stuff was the 4 of us.
We wrote it all.
We wrote it all. I mean, that was everything that was on that disc. The last disc that we came out with was the 4 of us. Yeah. So basically, they were going to do the CD release party, and then they were going to tour, and it was, we have to make a decision. Are we gonna make this work or not? And at that point in time, we really couldn't. So it was a decision that we made where, you know what, guys, we want you to do this. We want you to make it big. And then, you know what, and if we can help in any way, whatever we can do, great. But we can't put in the effort. We can't go on a bus, on a crappy bus and drive around. We have families, so.
I think it was a long time coming, too. It was, there was a good end there where it started fizzling out, where the full band didn't play as much. It was a lot more acoustic throughout the week and things of that nature, where we didn't actually go and play. And, personally, me, I love those guys, and you guys are family to me. I almost felt as if near the end we were holding them back a little bit, because they were never going to leave us. We were family. It was us.
No.
It was us four. It was us four together. So, playing once or twice every other weekend as full band, and then, as aside from playing 6-7 nights a week, what they wanted to play, it didn't work out. There was no way that dynamic was going to work the way that it was.
How did Gary and Mike's departure affect you both?
At that point, I think it was really, really difficult, because Benny and I both moved to Syracuse to pursue music and to try to, make it a career and tour and get signed to a label and make music our lives. And when they left, it was because we had gotten signed to a small local label here, Subcat Records, and they were planning on doing a tour for us. And Gary and Schleier were at points in their lives where they couldn't do that. So I think, at least for me, from my perspective, it was tough, because it was like, man, what are we gonna do? Is this done? We've only been doing this a few years. We didn't even really give it a go.
For me, when they formally left the band, I remember just feeling a sense of loss, like literally, it affected me. I remember I was on the phone with, I had kind of just started dating my wife, and I was on the phone with her, and I was like, our drummer, Gary and Schley, our drummer and bass player, just quit the band. And she goes, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. And I was like, no, you don't understand. This is a big deal. Our drummer and bass player just left the band. I don't know what we're gonna do. And I felt like it was over. I literally thought, I was like, I mean, I don't want to be done, and I knew Mike didn't want to be done playing.
What impact did the additions of Brett and Jim have on the band?
I think that those two guys, they bring an energy and an experience that Benny and I didn't have. Brett's played with so many different bands, and he's been on so many different recordings, and he owns his own studio, and he's such a professional, and he's so good at what he does. And Jim has played with everybody. You know, he's been in this business for 40 years, and he knows what he's doing, and he's a hell of a drummer. And they brought that expertise to the sound that we didn't have before, because all four of us previous to that were so new. We were all young and inexperienced, and those guys really, I think, unintentionally made us step up our game.
Definitely brought a change in our live sound. I think we became even more of a rock band.
Energetic, yeah, they brought
way
an
more energy. And it's not that we didn't have energy before, but I think it just their style of playing. Brett's very aggressive on the bass, and Jim likes to hit the drums hard.
Jim likes to hit the drums hard.
So those two things, and I think that our style of playing changed a little bit along with that. It never felt like there was a transition time. And looking back on it, I never feel like, I mean, we had a transition time when the guys left, and then, you know, we had a couple different guys come up and play with us. But then when Jim and Brett started playing with us, it wasn't like it took us 6 months to really figure it out. It was like, oh yeah, okay, this works. Let's just keep doing this.
Yeah, it was, and it's,
You know?
I can equate it to the same way we felt when Gary and Schleier first joined the band. You know, we played one day, and we were like, yep, that works, that's great. And it was the same thing with Brett and Jim. We all got together and we started playing, and it was like, okay, let's just keep doing this, you know, this is working great.